Hello everybody, happy Sunday. Hope you enjoy your Sunday, whatever you get up to. Bit hot for a roast dinner though, innit? At least it's in the UK. Well, I'm recording this on Saturday night, so I don't really know what it's going to be like. It might be pissing down for a while now. Anyway, it's beer monster o'clock. And I've got another beer battle this time. It's Italy versus Spain. And I've matched these two together because I've not had either of them for a while, but I consider them to be fairly equal from what I can remember. So I thought it might be quite interesting to put them head to head and see what one is better, because I don't actually know. I regard them about the same. So perhaps by putting them together, there might be one that I prefer. And also, I like to hear what you guys prefer. Is it San Miguel or Birra Moretti? I say it's Italy versus Spain. Guess what? They're both brewed in the UK. Yeah, that's kind of killed that one, isn't it? Birra Moretti is brewed by Heineken in the UK, and the San Miguel is brewed by Carlsberg? Yeah, Carlsberg in the UK. That's probably up north somewhere, I think. Oh well, let's crack them open, shall we, and get on with it. Oh, 4.6 for the Moretti ABV and 5% for the San Miguel. They both probably taste different if you get the beer from the actual real country, that's brewed in the actual real country. So this is just a comparison between the UK brewed versions. Right, get the Moretti open into a glass. Moretti is 660ml bottle. They're both 660ml bottles. I picked them up from, I mean, you can get these anywhere, so it's not really much point in me saying this, but I picked them up from Tesco's in a 3 for £5.50 deal. And yeah, I just see them and thought they might make quite an interesting little battle. Right, here's the Moretti. She's all in. Let's crack open San Miguel. Yeah, I've not tried these for ages because I tend not to really bother with the UK brewed beers that are sort of supposed to be brewed somewhere else, because, you know, it never used to bother me, but as you sort of start trying loads of different beers, there is a massive difference, believe me, than if you have the proper beer brewed in the proper country rather than our version. They're just using the names, the fancy foreign names, to sell more beer. They're completely different to the real ones. Looking at them in the glass, they look very similar, don't they? Both got white heads. The Moretti's head looks a bit more refined, a bit smaller bubbles, a bit more premium. San Miguel head's got like big bubbles. Colour wise, I'd say the Moretti's slightly darker, not a lot in it really. The head on the Moretti is holding better for me. Here's a little look at the carbonation. Both carbonated very, very highly. Of course, these Foster's glasses do have widgets in the bottom. They are nucleated glasses, but I'm just using them for review purposes because they're matching identical glasses, and they're the only identical lager glasses I've got, so that's what you got to put up with. I'm not saying that I sponsor Foster's and I love it or anything like that. It's just glass at the end of the day, isn't it? Right, let's get the aromas on these beers. Right, let's go in with the Moretti first. Keep that there to remind me. Moretti, San Miguel. Moretti. Bready malts. It's a little earthy as well. It's got kind of an earthy sort of smell to it. Smells alright. It's a lager. They don't particularly smell like amazing, do they? You know. San Miguel's malty as well, and a little bit floral for me and grainy. Yeah, it's definitely a slight floral aroma in the San Miguel for me. They both smell alright, about equal I suppose. Different, but none of them smell bad. They just smell like your average, your macro to def lager. I'm only going to sort of compare these to the other UK macro lagers really, because there's no point comparing them to the real versions, or, you know, Pilsner Quell and stuff like that, because they're just not going to compare. I'm just going to compare these to other beers. You know, if I give this a 9 out of 10, it's because it's a 9 out of 10 compared to the other beers that are brewed in the UK, I suppose. Lagers. Anyway, shall get in with the Moretti. Cheers everybody. Bosh. How'd you say cheers in Italian? Or does it even matter because it's not Italian, is it? Salute. It's crisp, it's refreshing. It is a bit earthy. Got your bready malts in there. It's quite an easy drinking lager. It's a little bit bland. I mean, there's not much on the finish. There is a bit of bitterness on the finish, but it's not a very nice bitterness. It's a little bit lingery. Yes, it's quite a simple lager, really. It's very popular. It's surged in popularity in the last few years, Birra Moretti. I think for that reason, it's just, you know, there's not a lot to it, really. It's kind of a safe beer. It's no real risk taken or anything, but for that reason, not a lot of people are going to dislike it. Yeah, it's a bit of a safe one for me. It's not horrible or nothing, but there's so many better beers, there really is. Not much of a hot presence, really. Apart from that bitterness on the end, it's really quite, it's a low level bitterness, but it's a lingering kind of annoying bitterness that you just kind of want to fuck off. Do you know what I mean? It's, yeah. It does taste better on tap though, for me, than it does out of a bottle of this. What beer don't? Okay, I think I've got a good idea about that. There's also a dryness on the finish as well. My first impression of that would probably be about a 7 out of 10. About a 7 out of 10 lager. I'm doing it slightly different this time because sometimes you keep going back and forward and you get a bit confused. And I'll just, you know, I've drunk half that beer. Comparing it to the other UK macro lagers, your Stellas, your Fosters, your whatever beer, even Star of Aroma is brewed in the UK nowadays, you know, and it's not better than that. But I'll go for a 7. There's a lot worse beers. It's okay. It's sort of run-of-the-mill average lager. Nothing special though for me. All right, let's go over to San Miguel and see how it compares. Cheers, everybody. Bosh. Cheers in Spanish. Again, it's a UK brewed, but I just say cheers in Spanish. I think I thought I would have known that, but I don't. Someone's going to have to tell me in the comments, I think. I'm sure it is on here. Spanish. Chinese. Oh, salud. That's it. I didn't know that. It just went salud. Cheers, everybody. Bosh. This one's more citrusy. San Miguel's more citrusy. And it's more grainy. It's actually quite a different beer. Not necessarily better though. It's a little bit boring, apart from that citrus and grain. It's crisp and refreshing. Does the basics. It doesn't taste so earthy. The Moretti was earthy in a bad way for me. Again, it just lacks a bit of depth, this lager. It's similar in the sense of not much bitterness. There's a sort of drying sort of hoppiness on the end. This bitterness doesn't linger. It's just a slight sort of citrusy bitterness. It doesn't linger really at all. So I suppose it could say it's more easy drinking. No, actually, I wouldn't say it is. The Moretti is sort of got a smoother mouthfeel than this. This has got a bit of a watery, crap mouthfeel. Yeah, you feel like you're drinking something a bit more premium with the Moretti for me. But I'd say the San Miguel's got more flavour with the citrus and that. Although it doesn't have nothing on the back end apart from a low level bitterness. At least it doesn't have that kind of lingering bitterness that you want to sort of do one, you know. First impressions with San Miguel, like just like throwing a random score out there, then I will compare them again, would be a 6.5. So the first sort of go, the Moretti's winning by half a mark, but I'm going to go again now that I've tried both, see if I notice anything different. You know what? A few days ago I did a Heineken, you may have watched it, versus Heineken Silver video. Moretti tastes quite similar to Heineken, but it's like a more smoother version. And interestingly, Moretti is of course brewed by Heineken. So it feels to me actually like the UK version of Moretti. I may be wrong, but I feel like it's Heineken with a few tweaks to it. That's what Moretti basically is. It's a smoother, maybe slightly more refined version of Heineken. That's your Moretti. In fact, now I've said that, it's reminding me of drinking Heineken the other day on that comparison video. They're very similar beers. It'd be very interesting to do Moretti versus Heineken, because I bet there's not much difference. It's just sort of come to me that it's almost like deja vu, because it was only a few days ago, interestingly, that I did that Heineken review, and it tastes really similar. So I think there's something a bit dodgy going on here. We've got to be careful here in the UK, because we're all being mugged right off, we really are. If you try the San Miguel brewed in Spain, if you try the Moretti brewed in Italy, they're probably going to taste a lot better. In fact, I could almost guarantee they're going to taste a hell of a lot better. I'd absolutely love to be able to get hold of some of the, like the San Miguel from Spain and the Moretti from Italy. If anybody knows a way that I can get them, even if I have to get them shipped across or something like that, I really appreciate that, because I'm getting sick of this. So with the San Miguel, it's brewed by Carlsberg. Doesn't remind me of Carlsberg though, but that's just saying interesting. Anyways, I'm going to have to go again, because I noticed that and it sort of put me off my game. That is really similar to Heineken, but it is better than Heineken for me, slightly. Heineken's got a bit of a rough and ready feel to it. I think they've toned that down a little bit with this one, and perhaps made it so that it pairs better with food and stuff like that. It's a little bit more, less roughness about it. Perhaps slightly less flavour though. Although Heineken is not the most flavoursome beer in the world, is it? But I'm convinced that is very similar to Heineken. And that's definitely more citrusy than San Miguel. There's really not in it. I don't think much has changed going back in on them again. In fact, I feel like, if anything, they're more close than what I originally thought. Especially now that whole Heineken thing sort of come in my head. It's sort of sticking with me a bit. Like, am I pretty much drinking Heineken here? Interesting, very interesting. And even the San Miguel is reminding me of another beer. I can't put my finger on what one it is, but it's reminding me of another beer. And it's another beer that's brewed in the UK. Probably by Carlsberg, and claims to be something else, but that's definitely very similar to another beer. brewed in the UK. I don't know if it's Stella. Might be Stella. Is Stella brewed by Carlsberg? I don't know. It may not be Stella, but it just reminds me of another beer that ain't San Miguel. So I think a lot of these beers are either brewed by Heineken or Carlsberg, and they've got fancy foreign labels on them, and they're all very similar beers pretty much. I reckon they've got like a base beer that they have, and they just tweak it a little bit and call it a different beer from a different country. I think we're all being fooled. That's what I'm saying, people. And I think we need to start boycotting these beers, and we need to start drinking different lagers. They're actually from the country they say they're from. At least as far as I know, these two haven't had their ABV reduced. Actually, San Miguel, I believe, is 5.4% in Spain, something like that. Moretti, I think, is 4.6 in Italy, but I'm not 100% sure. So if anything, props for not lowering the ABV of Moretti. But yeah, again, like yesterday's one, I feel like I'm sitting on the fence a bit, but I'm just going to give slight edge to Moretti. I mean, it's so close. To be honest, they're both pretty shit. I'm comparing them to the other crap beers in the UK, like Madri, which of course is British, not Spanish. UK brewed, Stella, Foster's, all that sort of stuff. So these are probably two of the better ones, to be fair. They are two of the better ones, which us Brits are used to drinking. These are two of the better beers. But if you try the actual versions from their countries, they're better. And there's so much better lagers out there. You've got to stop just drinking the same old beers and try some others. I reviewed 2 Aldi beers yesterday, right? Half the price of these. And I'm going to say they're both better. There you go. That just shows you. Because they're actually brewed in Germany. They're actually, you know what you're getting. You know, I'm going to say they're just as good as these. They're like budget beers. I don't know about better, but for me, they're just as good as these. So yeah, it says it all, doesn't it? That's a budget supermarket brewing a budget beer. And there you go, I'm sort of waffling on a bit here. This video's getting very long. So I'm going to shut up and just thank you all for watching, and especially if you made it this far. Sorry I've gone on a little bit, but you know, sometimes I get a bit carried away. I am just getting a bit sick of this, as I'm sure lots of you are as well. I know that some of my subscribers are getting really fed up with the whole thing. Like, you know, you drink a beer, you review a beer, and then they're like, oh, actually, that's not the same as, you know, really, it's brewed here, or it should be like this and that. And it's like, what's going on? What is going on with the world? Like, it's all just to make money, innit? Cutting the ABVs and all that. The other countries don't do it, as far as I know, or do they? I don't know, but I know there's lots of dodgy stuff. As more and more I've sort of been reviewing these beers, there's so much dodgy stuff going on within the industry. Like big companies like Heineken, for example, just quickly before I go, buying out loads of smaller breweries, yeah, and then just completely getting rid of them so that they've got less competition, but keeping the beers and then just brewing them themselves so that they make all the money. Yeah, dodgy world that we live in. It's all about the old money, innit? Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed this video despite the waffling, and consider subscribing to the channel. And till the next one, guys, bye bye, darlings.